The motorcycle you buy first could be the reason why you quit riding forever. Avoid these 5 mistakes that new riders make that cost them thousands and kill their confidence before they even hit the road. Mistake number 1, starting off on the wrong bike. Now, this could be a very controversial statement, but there is the right bike to start on and the wrong bike to start on. With the multitudes of different subgenres of bikes that we have today that are on the market, between cruisers, sport bikes, naked bikes, touring bikes, adventure bikes, the list goes on. There's a multitude of things to consider when buying your first bike, but the two most important things are this: how tall are you and how much do you weigh? Those can set the precedent for what kind of bike is really in your market, whether you're 5'3" or 6'2", whether you're 150 pounds or 250 pounds. That does make a difference. The basic rule of thumb for your first bike is very simple. When you're in the saddle or when you're sitting on the seat, you should be able to take both of your feet and plant them firmly on the ground flat, meaning the whole portion of your foot is touching the ground. If it doesn't, it's too tall for you. And that can cause a multitude of things that can lead to you having your first wreck or possibly taking the big dirt nap. You're going to hear this statement a lot. Don't get the 300, get the 500 or the 600 or the 650 or the 700. You're going to outgrow it. And although that statement is partially correct, it's not really good to go off of. Yes, you are going to outgrow a 300cc bike in experience level, but you're not just going to magically wake up one day and be too big for the bike. That is why when anybody comes to me and says, hey, I'm looking to get my first bike, what should I get? I always push them towards cruisers, because predominantly cruisers are known for having a lower seat height, a little bit more relaxed controls, and sometimes they weigh in on the scale a little bit heavier. So they're not as susceptible to countersteering if you make a mistake. Mistake number 2, taking tips and advice from the wrong people. Without a doubt, you're going to have the people that are going to come up to you in public and say, don't you know how many people die on those things? And you shouldn't be riding that. That's how you're going to kill yourself. Those aren't the people I'm talking about, even though most of those people have never rode a bike in their life. The ones I'm talking about are the ones that claim to be your friends or are people you just roll up on and meet up with, who give you the absolute worst riding tips possible. I think my favorite ones I've heard are, cutting up in traffic is the safest way for you to get around, so you're in control of traffic. No, that's the worst thing to do. Secondly, going at least 5 to 10 mile an hour over the speed limit or faster than traffic is the best way to stay safe. Here's my number one advice for anybody: ride your ride. Ride the way you feel safe. Ride the distance from cars that makes you feel like you got a good bubble of safety if you need to stop. Ride your own ride. Mistake number 3, riding above your skill level. Now, there's a very big difference between riding above your skill level and practicing to get better. Practicing to get better involves a closed course, a parking lot, or a track, cones, and doing drills. Riding above your skill level involves being an idiot, taking corners way faster than you should be, and not knowing how to lean through the turn, break into it, or downshift or shift through it regardless. So there is a big difference. If you are more comfortable riding around town, going from stop sign to stop sign or stoplight to stoplight, or going in a straight line down the highway, awesome. You are officially riding your motorcycle. But keep your drills and keep practicing to a closed course or a parking lot. There are great drills you can do, whether it be cone drill, U-turns, just practicing your weaving. There's a lot of great things you can do in a parking lot. But the number one thing that's going to get you in trouble the quickest is trying to ride above your skill level and not being prepared for it. There's only one of two outcomes that can happen. One, you get lucky and you make it through it. Or two, you slide out, you wipe out, and at the worst case scenario, again, you're looking at that big dirt nap. Mistake number 4, choosing to look cool instead of dressing safe. This is a very controversial statement because you're going to have some people on the far side of the spectrum and some people on the other side of the spectrum. Here's my advice. No matter how many years you've been riding, wear a helmet. You only get one noggin, you only get one brain. This right here could be the difference between you being a mushmallow or being able to function. Have a good pair of riding gloves, preferably with knuckle dusters or knuckle protection. Saves you in a slide. And also, if you need to put your hands down. Finally, footwear. Have a pair of solid boots. They don't have to be moto boots. They don't have to be stylish. They don't have to be cool. They just need to be solid and pretty sturdy. Again, you got to think you've got rocks, dirt, chips, debris. Everything is going to be coming at your shins and your feet. So wear the proper footwear. Don't be the guy wearing shorts, Crocs, and a tank top and think you're going to be safe. Mistake number 5, financing a bike before you even know if you're going to enjoy or like riding. I've seen it happen time and time again. Somebody will walk into a dealership, whether it be Harley, Honda, Kawasaki, and they'll just be looking at a bike. Next thing you know, you're roped into a $6,000 or even $16,000 financial responsibility on a motorcycle that you don't know how to ride. You're terrified of laying it down, and now you realize, uh-oh, I don't like this. Well, guess what? Now you got between 3 and 7 years of payments to figure out how to get it solved. So my advice for your first bike, buy it outright. Go on to Facebook Marketplace. There's bikes for days. Or if you're lucky enough to have a few friends or a buddy that already owns a bike, ask them if you can ride it or if they'll teach you how to ride on their bike. It saves you the financial burden of getting into payments and then realizing you don't like it. That is going to be it for today's video. I hope at the end of this, it helps you figure out whether you want to buy a bike, what kind of bike you want to buy. And if you got any other questions or anything you want to ask, drop a comment down below. And if you like this kind of content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, drop a like to the realest motorcycle and automotive content on YouTube. As always, I'm Rides. Keep it 2 wheels down. Rides out.